the mind is so powerful and the mind is so unlimited, right? I was thinking, I woke up and thought about how the camera lens, right? This is funny. I'm waking up thinking about camera lenses. I woke up and thought about how the camera lens is actually similar to our eyes, right? The same technology, the way it works, the zooming in, the camera lens, when you zoom in, zoom out, the way it works, right? One has studied the eye to see how the eye does things, to see how the eye works and how the eye operates, and how we take that technology, or we take that natural human power, and we took that and put it into camera lenses, and we put it into video cameras, and we put it into things that, now the new technology when it comes to the visuals. We put similar technology into that. What's interesting about the mind is that these minds that solve all these problems, the mind that creates, right? The mind that creates, the mind that that's able to solve these, that's able to invent things, observe things, study things. That same mind is what we have, right? We all have that mind. But many people do not use the mind because they've been so dull over the years, right? They've been taught what to think, not how to think. So they're not learning how to solve problems themselves or understand things themselves. What they're doing is they're looking they're looking to be told at all times, right? Looking for I was going to say approval, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Looking for they want the green light on things, right? This is okay, this is not okay. This is good, this is bad. This is wrong. They want rules, right? Because they've been taught to always have rules. In school, you always have these rules and these guidelines to follow. At a job, you always have these rules and these guidelines to follow. So the mind is just so instructions. Yes. And wanting something to like follow. Okay, how do I do this? How do I walk this way? How do I go this way, that way? It's always looking for someone to tell them what's good, bad, right, or wrong, right? See, and that's a mind that does not see itself. That's a mind that does not think for itself, or it's afraid to think for itself because it may make a mistake, right? It may make a mistake because if it makes a mistake, that means, hey, I don't know something, I make a mistake, and then I don't get a result that I think I want, right? I may be doing it wrong. You see this all the time. I don't want to do this because what if I do it wrong? I don't want to do that because what if it's not the right way? But that's the only way we learn as human beings, is actually doing things wrong. You do it wrong and then you learn. You fail, then you learn. But when you're conditioned to be afraid of failure, then you look for instructions, right? Is it okay to have help? Absolutely. Is there some people who went all in on things that you haven't went all in on, and then you go on and you say, hey, can you help me with this? Absolutely. But when it's the basics, can I eat this? Yes or no? Can I use the bathroom? Yes or no? Can I do this? Yes or no? The basic things. There's certain things that you don't need instructions in, or you don't need, you don't need somebody to tell you what to do in those things, right? So for a mind that's been taught to be afraid of failure, for a mind that's been taught to be afraid to not observe and solve problems, a mind that's waiting for instructions, waiting for somebody to say, do this, do that, do this, like a dog, right? Dog's looking, okay, do I go this, don't do this, don't do that. That's a mind that cannot think for itself, that does not know how to think for itself. Right? So it cannot tap into the same, it cannot tap into its natural human power. It's afraid to be itself. This is a mind that's afraid to be what it is. This is a mind that's afraid to be what it is and do what it does. See, the human species, human beings are the only ones that are afraid to be what they are. They feel guilty to be what they are. We can make someone feel guilty for doing what they truly want to do. We can make somebody feel guilty for being a human being. Isn't that interesting? You have these urges, you have these desires, and you feel guilty. You have what it is that you want to do. You feel guilty. Hey, but what if in your mind, you know the move to make. In your mind, you know, man, you know what, man? You have these thoughts that come up, these thoughts. That most of those thoughts come from your gut feeling. Most of your thoughts come from what it is that you know. It comes from what it is you know that is true. Yeah, I know that's true. But we feel guilty for being what we are. So then again, we suppress what we want to do, right? We suppress what the thoughts we have because it's like, fuck, if I go with those thoughts, and sometimes those thoughts that come up, it's like, some thoughts is like there's certain things that you know what it is that you need to do, right? And you're choosing not to do it. And for the human mind that's afraid to be itself, for the human mind that's afraid to think for itself, for the human mind that does not know how to think and just is always told what to think, this is a mind that is afraid to be itself. It's afraid of freedom. It's a mind that's afraid of freedom. It's a mind that's afraid of the unknown. It's a mind that's afraid. It creates all these fears. It creates all of these illusions on what's going to happen. But it creates it because it comes from itself. It comes from psychological limitations and that it accepts. We got to get responsibility, fam. It's passed down. We accept it, right? And because we accept it, we create our own, our own projections on what we think is going to happen. And so many people are afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to be. And when I say be yourself, again, be yourself as a human being. The human mind's so powerful. I woke up and thought about the lenses of a camera. How do you create that? How do you study the eyeball? How do you see how the eyeball, the retina and all this stuff works and the zooming in, zooming out? And that same technology, we take that and say, okay, how can we put that into a camera lens? The zooming in, capture things in a different, how? How is that even possible? How is that even possible? How? How do we come up with that? How do we come up with this amazing technology? It's so interesting. How? You're watching me on this camera, on this phone, on this device that someone created, and you're talking about you can't solve your own problems? You can't figure your own situation out? You see, this is the mind, again, that spends most of its time not seeing itself. It spends most of its time on something. It's spending most of the time on something. What is it? On what? Right? Like on something. It's like, okay, something that has nothing to do with observing, something has everything to do with escaping, something that has everything to do with not thinking, not diving into it. It's like, yo, man, like, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it, right? How does that mind figure things out? It doesn't. It wakes up, dullness, straight dullness. Let's put some drugs in it because we need drugs. Let's put some alcohol because we need alcohol. Let's escape our problems. Let's talk to people who have nothing going on. Let's talk to people who have similar mindsets. Talk about escapism. Let's talk about nothing. Let's get together and talk about nothing because that's productive. It's like, fuck, man. Like, do you know the mind is so fucking insane? It's so insane. It's so amazing. It's so unlimited. It can observe, it can solve problems, it can see things. Like, I started thinking about how people come up with these the ways of like how medicine and medical stuff. It's like, how we found out that the bone can fix itself. How we found that out. It's so interesting to me how we could break an arm and how hey, if we just put it lock in one position, it could fix itself. How we can observe that and do things. There's got to be a solution. So when the bone breaks, how does it fix itself? How does it come together? How does it, I'm so excited. I'm going through my word. How does it fix itself? Same way with medicine. How do we know, hey, this is why a headache happens, and if you take this pill that we created, right? This pill fixes this headache. How do we know that, right? How do we know that? Yes, there's certain things that are not good for you. Yes, there's certain things that you shouldn't put into your system. But it's like, fuck, man, how do you not see how powerful the human mind is? How do you not see that when you like, we've built cars, we have all these products and this technology, and then there's your mind that you have access to the same thing. You can observe, you can study, you can adapt, you can adjust, and you can't figure out your situation. That it's that impossible. It's that impossible for you to figure out. So you can't figure out your situation because your situation is so out of this world that you don't have access to the same brain that puts satellites in space. That you don't have access to the same brain that created a fucking airplane, put it in a bended metal, and we flying across the ocean. You don't have the same brain. Look at all the technology that's going out there with the metaverse and the virtual reality. And it's like, how can we create that? That's the mind that we have. And many people are not even using this. So now look, that's the power of the human mind. And then you have people not even tapping into that, not observing. So they want to spend most of their life not thinking. They want to spend most of their life, oh, I just want to just escape from myself. So there's nothing that you're interested in. There's no problem that you're interested in. There's nothing about your situation that you want. You don't want to study the details of your situation. You much rather go partying and hang out and fucking have drinks all night. Cool, no judgment. But yo, man, at some point it's like, okay, you can sit there and watch the TV. You could be the one that sits there and watches TV all day, or you could be the one that creates the TV. It's like, that's a different level of mindset. There's a different mindset there. There's a mindset that just consumes, and there's a mindset that creates. It's a mindset that accepts, and a mindset that is observant, curious. It's like, yo, how can we create a TV screen? We overlook these things. And the reason why I make it such a big deal, we overlook these things. I make it a big deal because it's like, do you understand that many people don't know how to think? Many people do not think, or they don't know how to observe. They're afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to be a human being. They're afraid to question. They just want to accept. They want to accept what is most comfortable. They want to accept what's the best belief system so I can just sit down and accept, give my responsibility away to something that some guy said was true. It's just like, oh shit. And when I say belief, I mean just any form of belief within yourself, believe anything. I'm saying that's the mind that just wants to give itself away. It just wants to follow a label. It wants to follow. It doesn't want to produce. It doesn't want to lead. But that's not what our minds are built to do. I sound fucking crazy right now. I sound crazy right now. Cheers to everybody. I sound crazy. I can just imagine myself. I can just imagine someone listening. I can just imagine someone who does not want responsibility, right? I can just imagine a mind that doesn't want responsibility, a mind that's just been so conditioned to just accept, a mind that's just been so conditioned to just accept what is told, a mind that just wants to fucking just sit down, shake its head up and down, and that's it. But the same brain has invented all these products and all this technology, and then there's your problems that oh yeah, I just want to hang out and do nothing. It's like, oh shit, you have this imagination, you have this brain, you have this power. This shit is some other shit going on. There's some other shit, like that's some shit that you can't even comprehend and you will never comprehend. This whole thing is so complex that we will never understand it fully. We will never understand how this whole thing works. See, the lazy mind says the universe is created by this. That's the lazy mind. That's the mind that's not interested, that wants answers. The observant mind, the free mind, the clear mind looks at it and understands that it doesn't know. When it knows, oh shit, I will never find out what this whole thing is about. Wow, how powerful is that? The mind, so unlimited, so infinite. We can think and observe, create, but we'll never find out what this whole thing is truly about. That's what's so powerful about the brain. It's just unlimited, but it's limited at the same time. It's like, yo, we will never know certain things. So then the mind just starts going. The curiosity starts going. How do these people create the medicines? How do these people create the cameras? How do these people create satellites, television, cars, engines? How? How do we see something and say, this is a problem, let's solve it? How can we solve it? Let's bring a bunch of people who are interested in knowing how to think, not people who are interested in being told what to think. It's like, okay, how can we come together to create all this? How can we come together to build? What's the proper way to build a building where it can withstand any weather? When it rains, when it snows, when it thunders, this building is still up? Oh shit, how? Because we made a bunch of flimsy buildings that fell down, and then we know, okay, we observe, when it rains, it still leaks, the water still goes through. I don't think this works anymore. What if we did it like this? What if we did it like that? You know what? What if we added this so air can come in because the mold in the corner? It's like, yo, how? That's the same mind. That's the same mind that you have. Patience, observing, awareness, learning, adapting, interest, passion. And then there's people who don't want to tap into that. I just want to hang out with my friend and drink and talk about nothing. What? Okay, no judgment. Yo, is it okay? But you don't want to create, you don't want to invent, you don't want to produce, you don't want to provide value to this world using what you have available to you. You don't want to produce, you don't want to create. No. You think someone else is a better human being than you? You think someone else is a better human being than you? There's no human being better than you, fam. There's no human being better than you. There's no human being better than you. Because you can be anybody if you put in the time. And if you can understand that you can be anybody if you put in the time, that right there is life-changing instant. You could be anybody if you put in the time. Anybody who's interested, the difference is, hey, I'm interested in this. I've been interested in this for this long amount of time. Of course, I'm going to know more in a subject than you if I've been putting all of myself to this for a long time. Of course. But that doesn't mean that you don't have access to the same mind. It doesn't mean that you can't do the same thing. There's nobody better than you. Put nobody on a pedestal. Don't put somebody up and say, wow, you're so different than me. No, because no one's different than you. You got the same mindset. You got the same access, the same energy, the same focus. You're focused on something. Someone's focused on solving a problem, and you're focused on escaping a problem. It's the same fucking energy. It's the same thing. But it's just interesting how we are. It's just interesting, man. Like, it's interesting, like, how dull many people are. Most people are dull. They're like, let's do something else. It's like, there's nothing you want to invent, nothing you want to create, nothing you want to, no problem that you see that you want to get locked into. No, okay. Should you feel wrong about that? No, it just shows priority, right? Like, what is your priority? Your priority is what? To escape, to run away, to just accept. So you was born just to do that. Just to accept and just to escape. Just to do whatever it is. Like, hey, I just want to see your spots and look at the sky all day. It's like, okay, that's fine. Fine. But man, oh man, the fact that you can look at a problem and come up with a solution, the fact that you can get locked in on a process. Do you know what it is to get locked in on a process? To see things from its beginning all the way you see it play out. It's a fucking beautiful thing. Everything I talk about is me seeing the process of things. How can I understand fear? Because I just observe the mind that is afraid. Observe it for years. Observe all these things for years, and you just watch and you see movements, and you look at someone's movement, someone's behaviors. You observe. You study a human mind that lives in fear. You study a human mind that's insecure. You study a human mind that's afraid to be itself. And then you start to observe, and then you document. You're like, wow, this shit is wow. Like, wow. That's wow. It's interesting. Man, like that mind, man, that we all have access to that shit, man. But some of us use it, some of us embrace it, and others just want to run away from being themselves. Most people want to run away. They're afraid to be themselves. You're afraid to question. You're a human being that's built to question, and you're afraid to question. Oh, I don't want to question that because what if? It's like, oh shit, you just want to accept. You don't want to think, right? Many people just want to accept. They're afraid to be themselves. They're afraid to be what it is to be human. It's like, if I don't want responsibility, I'm giving all my responsibility away. But the same brain that solved all these problems, the same brain that's created all this whatever it is that you see, is the same mind that you have. Now, to keep that limited, to make it dull, to make it just almost non-existent, to put that energy towards running away and stimulating your mind through, fucking chemicals and shit. It's like, damn, that's what we're doing. Oxygen itself is powerful. Being able to breathe, it's powerful. It's water, powerful. The natural shit is powerful. It's like many people don't even have that. Have you ever ate strictly just clean food? Like, and when I mean by clean, natural food, you know how you feel after a week of eating just straight natural food? Fruits and vegetables and just natural shit? You ever done that? Just eat clean for like natural food for a week? Do you see like, oh shit? You ever worked on your breathing and saw how, wow, on high on your own supply you can be? Like how high you can get on your own supply? You ever done that? You've ever stretched? How simple it is to stretch and let the body loose? You ever done that? Do those things for a week. You'd be like, damn, the body's amazing. What we have available to us, we don't even use. We always want something to stimulate us. We always want something to tell us what to do. We always want something we just accept. Okay, you work a job for 40 years of your life. You go to school for 20 something years of your life. Been told, raise your hand when you need to use the bathroom, put it down. It's just like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. Do you know how to think? Do you know how to think? Do you know how to think? How to question? Thinking involves questioning. Hey, but not questioning to be obnoxious, not questioning to be annoying, not questioning to disagree or agree, but questioning to figure out what is being said for yourself. Questioning to see the truth. Hey, okay, what is that? Observing, man, like observing the same way we used to observe when we in the wild and we should climb up the tree and we should observe the environment. Okay, when is the best time to hunt for buffalo? When is the best time? How can the lion do the killing and we can just go in and sweep it all up? What's the best time to do this? Okay, we set a trap over there because this right here, the way these animals move, it's like we would die if we go that direction. But if we stay, come on, man, that's a human mind. That's powerful. to observe an environment and be able to just watch and be like, oh shit, okay, we will figure this out. It's a powerful mind, man. For you to sit there and not do that for yourself, where you have all these things going on in your mind and not to understand it, but just to fear it, you're not tapping, you're not diving into it, man. And most people don't. Most people are not. Most people are not. Most people are not. The human mind, man. Just human beings in general. The body's amazing. Just watching, observing, listening. Look at all these things that we have access to. We listen. Sounds. How we create meaning out of sounds. How people put things on a pedestal. Definitions. How definitions hits people when it doesn't have to. It's so interesting. Oh, you're this. Ah! It's like, oh shit. This is what we do. Like, this is what we do. But if I said those same words in a different language that you don't understand, then it won't register, it won't hit you. So what does that mean? If I say da 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 da, whatever I say, you're like, oh shit, you get offended. No, you get offended because you understand what I'm saying. So that means you listen to what I'm saying, and then you process these words, and then you have your perception on the words you just processed. That's good, that's bad, that's right, that's wrong. But if I said the same thing in a different language that you don't understand, you can't process it, which means you can't judge it, which means it doesn't hit you. What's that mean? How come I can't say... See, this is what I'm saying. How come I can't say something like if I say something in another language, how come you don't get offended? Oh, because I don't understand. Oh, right, because you don't have the ability to process it and then put your judgment on it. So now it just goes over your head. That means everything else can just go over your head. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to see something, I can't believe you just said that. It's about self-respect. But I just said that in a different language and you didn't react like that. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it true? Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know. I just think that's interesting. That's just so interesting to me. So interesting in the mind. It's so interesting. So interesting. We're judging these things. We prioritize certain things in our life. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's like so many people don't want to think. They're afraid to think. They're afraid not even think. They're afraid to be present. They're afraid to feel. They're afraid to observe. They're afraid to question. They're afraid to just put an end to shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not doing this. I'm out. Imagine how simple that is. Just putting an end. This doesn't make sense. I'm out. We're afraid to do that. That's very interesting. We don't want to understand problems. Oh, I'm going through depression. I'm going through anxiety. I'm going through insecurities. I'm going through worry. I'm going through pain and trauma. We want to label these things, but never dive in to understand it. We never want to observe it. We just want to run away from it. We just want the quick pill, the quick fix, the quick conversation, the quick YouTube video that motivates you to do one thing for the moment. But we never want to understand it in its entire process of it from the start all the way to the middle and see where this goes. Because the understanding of it means the ending of it. It ends the fear, ends the illusion. You see what is. Oh, this is inevitable. This makes sense because when I do this, I get this. Oh, it makes sense. Obviously, I feel the way I do. Look at the foods I'm eating. Look at the people I talk to. Look at what I listen to. Look at my fears that I've accepted. Look at what I'm not willing to dive into. Look at I'm focused on what to think, not how to think. Look at I have all these beliefs and these stories that contradict how I want to live, and I'm just pulled in multiple directions. Of course, it makes sense. Wow, I care about the opinions of this human being. Oh, wow. Look, all this stuff it makes sense why you're in the position you're in. It just makes sense. It makes mad sense, man. If you understand that you are the problem, you are the solution, you won't be afraid. Like you won't be sad about your situation when you understand that you are in full control. You won't be sad. You'll be like, oh shit, duh, I messed up. I make these moves. I've done these things and I got up to this point. I've learned. Let me learn. I'm fucking up. Let's make an adjustment. That's it. It's 2 seconds. That's it. Okay. Let me get into it. Let me observe it. Let's go study it. Let's go break it down. How does this work? You would see, okay, if you took responsibility on why you are in the position and you look at yourself, oh, okay, yeah, it's up to me, right? I've made these moves. It got me to this point. Oh, wow, let me figure my situation out. That's it. Let me just figure it out. The same brain that dives, that you'll question certain things. Oh, do I need to do that? You know what? I don't got to do that. Do I want to do that? You know what? I don't care about the opinions of others. Let me just go do this. Let me fix my situation. It's so, I say that and I say it's so simple, and nobody knows me, right? Nobody knows me. Nobody saw me when I was going through my shit. This is why I wish there was like cameras. I wish there was like cameras all around so somebody can see what I would do in certain situations. I say these things because I think back. Oh, I was in certain situations in life where I've done a lot of the same things. I've made excuses. I blamed everybody else. I didn't want to take responsibility. I was afraid. I was this. I was that. I was going through mad shit. But then when I look at it, I'm like, yo, it's all created by me. I'm creating all this. Look at what I'm accepting. I'm talking about I want change, and I'm over here escaping my problems to the highest level. I'm talking about I don't understand why I'm so lost and confused, and then I'm eating McDonald's all day. It's like, okay, all right. I'm not aware of my body. I'm not aware of I'm not aware of just myself. I'm not aware at all. I'm not learning. I'm not educating. I'm just like, oh, why am I so lost? And you know what? And I have all these reasons why. I create all this. You have a lost mind having all these beliefs to why they are in the situation they're in. How the heck do you even trust yourself? How can you trust yourself if you don't even understand yourself? Family, how can you trust yourself if you don't even understand yourself? Meaning, if you don't understand you and you are the problem and you are the solution, if you don't understand you, then you don't understand the actual problem. So it makes sense to question. It makes sense to dive into it. It makes sense to not accept because you don't understand. You don't even understand what you're doing. How you guys feeling about this live? Give me some fire emojis if you're loving this live, fam. I had to end this strong. I had to end this live strong. End the week strong with the live. Because I won't be seeing you guys till Monday, so. Give me some fire emojis, fam, if you was loving this live. I don't even know who's on here. All right, family, I'm out. Listen, you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Matter of fact, I'll leave you with this because this was on my mind. From moment to moment, learn to take responsibility of your situation. Learn to blame yourself. And when I mean by blame yourself, I don't mean feel bad about yourself. Because you take what is and then you have your perception on what is, right? So, oh, why me complaining and saying, oh, I don't know, and da-da-da-da-da. Don't feel bad about yourself. Don't say, oh, man, like feel bad about the moves you made in the past. Observe your situation and say, I put myself in this position currently right now. And because I put myself in this position, I can take myself out of this position. What did I do to put myself in this position? And what can I do now moving forward? Sometimes some of you have to take 3 steps back to destroy what you've built up to this point because you put yourself in this position. And some of you need to take 3 steps back. And when I say destroy, it's like it is what it is, right? Meaning put a complete end to this position. Take 3 steps back and say, okay, what is it? How can I recreate? What can I do moving forward, right? It's like you may not know what you want to do moving forward, but you know that this is just not it. In your current position, you know, okay, I don't know where I want to go, but what I do know is I don't want to do this, whatever this is. So let's just move. Movement is everything. Movement. Making decisions to recreate, reposition. That's everything, right? Using your mind to solve the problems and the things that you can't control, the things you have control of. So if you're looking at your current life situation, you don't know what you want to do moving forward. Understand that there's shit that you just don't want to do now. I don't want to do this. So take 3 steps back, recreate yourself, and go all in on the things you have full control of. You know, what's your, you know, what food you're eating? What's your diet? What's your fitness routine? What are you hydrated? Are you breathing? Are you stretching? Things that you have control of. You know, like what's your education like? Meaning, are you reading on topics that you just need to learn? Some of you just need to learn something new and you're not learning it, right? You have a problem here and you have a problem that needs to be solved and you're not taking the time to learn that problem and understand that problem so you can understand that solution. For most people, when they have a problem, they run away from it. And running away is what you do when you don't understand. Running away is what you do when you're like, I don't know. You just run away. But when you see a problem, okay, I don't understand this. How can I read something on it? How can I learn about it? How can I make a mistake? Because mistakes is part of the process. How can I educate myself? So look at your current situation and don't feel bad about it. That shit is like as if it's over. You only feel bad if you think, oh, I just messed up. That's it, over. No, man. Man, so many people have given up and quit on themselves. So many people have just said, fuck it. They just gave up, man. They just gave up. They sit down and they want to believe. They don't want to know. They want to feel. They don't want to see. Oh, feel good for the moment. It's like, damn, do you not see how your situation right now, you are in full control over how you react and respond, and you're not taking ownership of it? You're praying and wishing for change, but then if you look at your current situation and the things you have control of, you don't even take control of that. What does that mean? I want life change, but then like, all right, but I have the ability to choose what I eat, and I'm choosing this. This makes sense. Why you feel the way you do. I make excuses to why I can't show up for myself. I have these conversations with these people who don't even understand themselves. So then I'm talking to people, oh, I just want company. The value you provide to me is just, I just don't want to be lonely. I just want company. That's why I have you around. Think about the quality of the relationship. Think about the quality of the conversations you're having. Think about it. You're having these conversations with people just so you won't be by yourself. I'm hanging out with people just so I won't be alone. Just have something to do. Secretly, you know, damn, you know what? I wouldn't even be like. It's two people coming together to not even see themselves. Instead of having conversations on, yo, what's up, man? Like, how can we understand ourselves further? How can we continue to it? There's always something to learn. There's always something to learn. I find it interesting when people ask me, yo, Anthony, do you not talk about anything else but this? Like, is there anything else you don't like go and do that? It's like, it's an interesting question to ask. Like, what is there to talk about if it's not? I don't know, man. I'm not even going there. Like, my brain is so interested. I'm so interested to not be interested People ask me, why are you so interested? How can you just not be? Are you not interested in anything? It's like, well, no, I got mad interest. When you're interested in something, you cannot stop thinking about it or talking about it. You're interested. Like, fuck. I'm interested. You cannot. I'm interested. I'm interested. I want to know, and I'm interested. It's so interesting. The human mind is so interesting. Now, a dull mind doesn't want to observe. A dull mind doesn't want to question. A dull mind doesn't want to dive into things. A dull mind doesn't want to see itself. And it gets and it sees what is, and then it judges what is. I feel bad about the result instead of observing the results and observing it. Where does it come from? How's this happen? It's like I don't want to observe. I don't want to take responsibility so I can go out and just talk about nothing with somebody. It's just like not. It's not. It's weird, man. See who's on here. Last call of action. Give me some fire emojis if you're loving this. Did I end it strong? Did I end the live strong, fam? Give me some fire emojis. I put some first. Did I end this strong? Did I end this live strong? Is this making you think on this Friday? Is this making you see yourself? Is this making you question certain things? Is this stimulating your mind in some way, somehow? Is this stimulating you? Is this moving your brain towards the direction you know you needed to go? All right, cool. I love you, fam. I appreciate you. I will put this on YouTube, and I will put it up YouTube by today. And that's it. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I'm out. Have a great one. See you guys Monday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, and waking up with stimulation. I love it. Take care, fam. I'm out. Peace.